to the Feed You podcast, giving you the real scoop on raising your business to new heights. Expert education, inspiration, and motivation to fuel your purpose, your passion, and your profits. Here's your host, Elisa Connor.
Hello. Welcome to the Feed You podcast. It's episode 47, and I am so lucky to have on the show today a energy specialist who is also runs a nonprofit for women going through cancer, and I am so excited to have her on here. She is a coach and a mindset guru that is going to help you check your energy, check where your thoughts and your belief systems are, so that if you are stuck and you don't have the clients that you'd like to have and you don't have the money coming in that you'd like to have, you have some starting points as to where that's coming from, because it's really not coming from action, it's coming from your mindset. And she's going to walk us through a couple of really great exercises as well. So let me tell you a little bit about my guest. Her name is Kerry Borcherding. And Kerry describes herself as a spiritual business coach and speaker. She has a master's in transpersonal counseling psychology and is the creator of a program called Shift Academy, which supports people worldwide in creating a stable foundation in their lives and their businesses by becoming aligned first internally with their higher guidance or spirit, or however you want to reference that, and then taking the action they need second. So we're going to talk a lot about getting aligned internally, and you can refer to that internal guidance however you want to, spiritually, God, internal wisdom, however you want to say that, but that needs to be in alignment first, and then the action needs to come second. And I'm going to just really kind of harp on that for a minute, because I think we're taught in our lives that it's action. If you don't hustle, you're not going to get to the things you want. And I am here to tell you as an example that I have played with this for about the last year now, and I'm really finding that the times that I become aligned and I ask for internal guidance and I ask for wisdom from my higher self and from my higher power, that I don't have to work as hard, and I'm seeing bigger results. So if you're a little bit like skeptical about the whole woo-woo energy alignment thing, give it a listen. I think that Kerry is going to walk you through some different perspectives, and it may just trigger something in you that gets you to think about things a little bit differently. A little bit more about Kerry. It is her mission to empower women to see their immense power. And we are very powerful beings. I've talked about it previously on this podcast, specifically since we're all energy. We can harness that energy, but when we become aligned, and we can align with our unlimited ability to co-create and tune into our higher intuition and self, we will become unstoppable. So Kerry helps us do that, and I'm really excited to have her here. She is also, as I mentioned, the program director for a nonprofit called Hope Held by a Horse, and it is a nonprofit that supports women with breast cancer so that they can learn, grow, and heal in the company of horses. So they get to have horse outings, and she's going to talk a little bit about that, so I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's just a wonderful program, and I'm so blessed that she has been an integral part of that program and promotes that program. So check it out. And in the meantime, before we get started, before I introduce Kerry, please listen to this word from our sponsor. One of the biggest frustrations I hear from business owners on a regular basis is, I need more clients. And I get it. Every business struggles with getting new clients until you know how to do it. The problem is you spend your time networking and going to events and making phone calls that don't go anywhere. You're out trying to attract people to you when there is a much easier way. Growing your email list is so important because it fills your list with potential clients who actually want to hear from you. And it gives you the ability to reach out to them on a regular basis and share what you have to offer. To grow your email list, you have got to have a great free download. Sign up for our free newsletter isn't working anymore. You've got to create a download that piques their interest gets them to take action and adds them to your list. Sounds easy, right? Of course it's not easy. That's exactly why I created my new free training to help you create an awesome free download. You can sign up at elisaconnor.com/create my freebie. This live training is going to present the 5 easy steps that I've used with my clients to help them go from hot mess marketing to growing an email list that they consistently get sales from. So you don't want to miss this training. Head on over to elisaconnor.com/create my freebie and sign up today. I'll see you inside. So please help me welcome to the podcast my new friend and extraordinaire entrepreneur, Kerry Borcherding. Hi, Kerry.
Hey, nice to be here.
I'm so excited that you're here, and we are going to be talking about getting in alignment with your purpose and your vision. Kerry is a strategist and a coach in this area, and I think she's got so many people that just show up in her life that are just so stressed out and beyond knowing what to do. Like the processes aren't working, they're still not making money, and they're still just trying to figure out what to do. So, Kerry, give us a little insight into your business. Tell us what's going well, and a little bit about some of the people that you're helping.
Absolutely. So, well, it's interesting because just recently I was at an event where the conversations that I was having seemed to have a theme, and the theme was, what do I do in my business? How do I get more clients? How do I market better? How do I get off the fence? I have like one foot in my business, but one foot kind of out. And how do I get off the fence? And there is an energy quality behind that is contracting. Like, can you even feel it yourself as I'm talking about it? Like kind of the stress and the overwhelm. And then that goes into the limiting beliefs and I'm not good enough. And so then we're trying to attract our clients from that energetic state. We're trying to build our business from that place. And that's not a very solid foundation to build from. And so what I do is work with women to help them build a solid foundation to their life and their business through coming into alignment first and then taking the action from that place. So they're not looking through the lens of overwhelm and stress, but they are more open to being a receiving channel for what their next step is versus having some kind of a step strategy, which never works. I can't give somebody my 5-step process and have it across the board work for everybody. So my goal is to really help women tap into their higher self and take the action from their authentic place.
And I think as women, especially if we are mothers, you have a tendency to try and take care of everybody else, and you kind of lose yourself along the way. And so we're such typically caregivers compared to, say, our male counterparts. We are constantly caring for other people. So there is easily a way to get lost in, everybody else's needs, that we kind of forget really who we are and why we're here, and we lose track of what our purpose is. So in some of the work that you do, are you able to help people kind of pull away from their responsibility for a few minutes to kind of figure out, who am I and why am I here and what is my gift and how do I bring it forth?
Yes, absolutely. So it's my belief that our kind of first and foremost purpose on this planet is to be in touch with our higher self. And the more that we can start aligning and accessing that place, then your actual, what you want to do in the world, that actually comes second. And I think sometimes we reverse it. We, like women are, and the clients I work with are thinking about, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What should I do? But that's because it's all coming from up in the headspace. And so if they have an opportunity to start really connecting into their hearts, and really expanding their energy and being willing to receive and not just give, then the purpose actually presents itself. It's actually quite amazing.
That's amazing. And it's phenomenal. And it's true that we have so much, especially because we are so distracted by social media and responsibility and kids and work and TV and traffic and you name it, that at some point we've got to figure out how to shut all that off and get in tune with our higher purpose.
Absolutely.
So I know one of the things you wanted to do was to take the audience through a particular exercise to just give them a taste of what this feels like and looks like, and a quick transformation. So did you want to get started and do that now?
Sure. So first, what happens usually is that we're often working from our head space. So I want you to even just feel that for a second. Think of something that you want to do in your business that is an edge. Something that causes a little bit of fear to rise up, because there's two things happening right now. A lot of us are wanting to rise up and be seen and heard more and have a bigger impact and really make a difference, whether that's in our lives or our communities or as a mom or whatever you're doing. And that causes us to bring in fear, because you usually have to do something in order to be seen and heard more that makes you feel a bit uncomfortable. So even just bring something to mind right now that you want to do, whether that's getting on a Facebook Live or speaking on a stage or having a hard conversation with your kid or your partner. And just notice what happens in your energy. Most likely you pop up into your head space. So just allow yourself to do that for a second. And just feel what happens, because normally what happens is you get into the static of your mind, all of the busyness of the questions and the projecting into the future. And just notice if you feel more expanded or contracted.
Definitely contracted for me.
Yeah. And notice if you feel more connected or less connected.
Disconnected.
Yes. More joy or less joy.
Less joy, more stress.
Yeah. And so that causes a kink in the hose to your purpose and to your higher self. And so you have no ability to get any downloads or have anything be revealed to you, because your lens gets really, really small. Everything gets really contracted and tight. So instead of being in that place, I want you to take a second and just find a comfortable seat wherever you are.
Unless you're driving, please
Unless
don't.
you're driving.
Please don't do this if you're driving.
Don't close your eyes.
Step to the side of the road.
or press pause and come back in a second.
Yes, exactly.
So if you have the ability to close your eyes, do that. And if you don't, please don't. But allow yourself to take all of that energy that's bubbling up in your head, that worry energy, that stress and overwhelm energy. And I want you to just imagine like sucking it into the center point of your headspace. So it's about eye level and in the center point of your headspace. And this is just the center point of calm and peace. And it's the center point of awareness. The place where you can look out from behind your eyes in a non-judgmental way. But you're just receiving the energy without reacting, but just taking it in. And then you're going to allow that energy to travel down a golden thread to the center point of your heart space. And this is the center point of appreciation, the center point of forgiveness, of love. This is where you can expand out and really connect to the people around you with no resistance. And then allowing yourself to drop down that golden thread to the center point of your pelvis, which is about 3 inches below your navel and back towards your spine in the center of your body. And this is where your life force resides. This is where all of the energy and creativity for your life and your business comes from. So if you're up in your head, you are disconnecting from your purpose, from your life force, from your creativity. So now just imagine all three of those points breathing as one. So breathing in and breathing out. Then one more time, breathing in and breathing out. And then as you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. And so just noticing that it doesn't take much to start to go into your vertical core and to get out of that busyness of your mind. And in that way, you become more of a receiving channel. When the flow is open in all three of those points in your vertical core, that's when the steps just reveal themselves. And that's when the people you need to meet just pop into your life unexpectedly. And so you don't have to figure out how to do it best or figure out the strategy or give all your energy to somebody else because it's coming to you.
And I want to mention with that exercise that that's a great exercise first. But also it's something you can practice regularly, like maybe do it in the morning and do it at night, because all of that energy continues to work for you, whether you're in that space all the time or not. I mean, naturally, that'll just become your norm to be in that alignment, correct?
Yes, because the goal is that we don't just do that when we're sitting on our couch watching TV or when you're sitting on the beach on vacation, but that is the eye of the storm when you're having challenges in your business or when a client calls complaining about something, that you can still access that vertical core and stay in your power and in your life force and in your ground, even when challenges are happening, because it's really easy to get pulled away. You know, your kid has a problem and instantly you're pulled away. But if you can stay in that vertical core, then your reaction isn't quite so quick. You actually have a minute to think about what you want to say and how you want to respond versus how you react.
Right. And before we hopped on to record, you said something really interesting. And I liked it because you said a lot of us will network and we go out and network or we're speaking or whatever. But if we're not in alignment with that core and that purpose, can you tell me a little bit about what happens?
Yeah, I mean, just think about when somebody walks in a room that you are really attracted to and want to have a conversation with. And that is not somebody that is completely in their headspace or just, talking to talk. The people that we tend to be attracted to and the people we tend to trust right away are the people that are aligned and you can feel that they are centered and grounded. So as a businesswoman, it is extremely important to have this vertical core when you are out networking and when you are talking to people, because people can feel that energetically. That is the energy that is inside your body. And so we have to be connected to that so that people can feel trusting of us. And there's one other experience that I can give you that will add on to that as well, that will especially help you when you are out talking to people and promoting yourself, because you are your brand, you are the face of your brand. So that trusting energy is extremely important. And so often what we do is do something with the energy that is around us as well as the energy that is just running through us. And so when you come into this world, you are born with energy that's about an arm's length out. And if you can expand that energy and keep that energy expanded and then have a container around it, if you imagine just a sphere, a container, rim to that energy, then that is how you are the most magnetic that you can be. And sometimes what happens is we tend to either shrink our energy really, really close to us, like a couple inches away when we get nervous, or maybe you're somebody that has no container that feels safe when you're projecting your energy out. Those are the people that you kind of want to step back when they're in your field. Or we may just have no container and sort of just diffuse the energy so it that person feels really airy and light. But if you have expansion and containment, that keeps your own life force in. And so often women are always giving and giving and giving. And so they're not refilling their life force. And that's where the creativity comes from in our businesses. And that's how we create amazing programs. And that's how we share our gifts with people, is to have that life force available to us and not just giving it away or contracting it in really close to us.
Now, when you're putting that sphere around you, how does that protect you? Because I know a lot of times, especially if you're an empath, you pick up other people's energy. Yeah. Does that sphere also help you to keep other people's energy off of you?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So it helps you to not only keep out what you don't want, but to keep in your own energy so that you're soaking in your own juiciness most of the time, which oftentimes I think we think is selfish, but it's not selfish. It's needed. We need to be the most vibrant person first so that then we have the ability to even have the energy to give and not get depleted, not get home at the end of the day and feel completely exhausted. And so I can do one exercise really quick so you can actually feel it in your body.
Sure. Let's go for it. Now, if you're driving, pause again.
If you're driving, pause. So go ahead and close your eyes again if you can, but you'll still be able to feel this even if you can't close your eyes. But imagine that container expanded around you. So expand the energy out to the length of your arms at least. And then imagine that container around you. And just feel what it's like to be inside of your own space. Feel your own heart space, the life force that is now contained so that you're even more bright. Because that vertical core is like a dimmer switch. And when you're in the vertical core, the dimmer switch is totally turned up, and then the container is holding that light in so that it's not getting dispersed through the room. And then just to get a sensation of what it feels like when you contract your energy, imagine that bubble coming in on all sides, front, back, top, bottom, about 2 inches away from your skin. Notice what happens to your breath, what happens to your muscles. And then imagine expanding it back out again. So you have all of that room around you, front, back, sides. And then imagine that there is a little door in your bubble. And just open the door and step outside of the bubble. And notice what it feels like when there's no container at all. Even imagine being at a networking event in front of people and you're just completely outside of your container. And then step back in your bubble and close the door. And just, again, one more time, feel the expansion and the containment. And then you can gently open your eyes and come back.
Nice.
So what was your experience?
I did not like being outside the door.
Yeah.
At all.
That feels really exposed.
Yeah.
And from what many of my clients say is they feel not only exposed, but there's just nothing to hold in your own energy. It's just like then you're really giving everything away.
Right. So I think it would be really good. It would, be interesting to kind of observe how other people's energy shows up now that, you're creating that awareness for us, but also to play with your own when you're at an event, just to see like who comes in and who doesn't, when the energy is, really big or really small, and just see like what happens. So that's my takeaway. That's what I'm going to do the next time I'm at a big, and especially really large events like I have a really hard time going to concerts and things like that because there's so much energy in the room. It just is exhausting to me.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'll report back.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's interesting just to notice what your go-to is, because when we do that with our energy just when we want to feel safe. But actually, if you play around with it, it doesn't actually feel safe. When we contract our energy, it actually sends a signal to our brain telling us that we are not safe. And so staying in that expanded, contained space is your safety zone. And it allows that light, if you're in your vertical core, it allows that light to be so bright. So those are the people that are often the most magnetic, that you are instantly attracted to when you walk into a room, are those people that are expanded and contained and create a lot of trust. So notice when you go into a sales conversation or a networking event, or where you're going to be experiencing clients or potential clients, what you're doing not only with your energy inside your body, but outside your body as well.
Very, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. Very good tips. I had a question that I was going to ask you. Oh, when we are in alignment with our core, you were talking about how you can then receive downloads. And I think some people might need a little bit more information about, what does that look like, and how do they know, that they're getting the real juice versus just like their brain going in over mode or, whatever. So can we talk a little bit about that? Like when you actually are downloading information that is coming from the source or your inner source versus just floating by.
Yes. Well, I'll just give you an example from my own life. So when I really started putting this practice into place, and I was making this a priority, this is absolutely the number one priority in my business and in my life. So every single morning, my priority for the first couple hours of my morning is to get into alignment. And so in my business at the end of last year, I decided I'm sick of doing what I think I should do. And I really want to start playing with, okay, I just want to feel really good all of the time. And I'm going to get into alignment, and I'm going to feel good, because when you're not feeling good, that's letting you know that you're not in alignment. So I want to feel good in my business. And so retreats came up. I really want to do retreats. And as soon as I kind of decided that that was what I wanted to do in my business, and I was totally in alignment with that, everything started falling into place. I found a retreat in Sedona with making one phone call. And then I really wanted a shamanic practitioner to come on that retreat. And the only shamanic practitioner that I knew was busy that weekend. And so I sort of just stayed in alignment with that. I would love it if it happened, but I don't know. And so I was invited to go to a spiritual business dinner with 3 women and 3 men. And I checked in with myself. Is that something that would bring me joy? Is that something I want to do? And it was a yes. So I went to the dinner. First person I met at the dinner was Tracy, who is a shamanic practitioner and was open that weekend. And we hit it off right away. And she's coming to be my co-facilitator on my retreat. So when you start being in alignment, instead of spending hours and hours online Googling or researching or trying to figure out, or strategies falling flat, it's like the doors just start opening and the people just start coming into your life that you're meant to meet. And so that's how you know when you're in alignment and that when you're getting downloads, is because it feels good, and you will start noticing that things just start happening versus feeling like you have to do all the time in order for it to come in.
Now, I want to back you up just really quick, because you said something really important about when you started this. It wasn't about what your brain said to do. It was about how you felt. Yes. And so I want you to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, oftentimes I think the first question as entrepreneurs that we are taught to ask, or we think that we're supposed to ask, is what should I do? And we may find a coach or somebody outside of ourselves to tell us what they think that we should do. And that is not the first question that you should be asking in your business. The first question you should be asking is, how do I want to feel? And even if there's somebody outside of yourself helping you and supporting you and helping you along your path, you always still want to check in, does that resonate with me? Is that how I want to market? Is that how I want to brand myself? So for example, using that same example of the retreat, for a moment I forgot this. And I went back to my old habit of, oh, somebody knows better than I know. Somebody who has a bigger business than me knows better than I do. And so I reached out to somebody and said, well, what do you do on your retreats? What do you think I should do? Do you think I should, how long should it be? And where should I have it? And they were like, you should have it in Colorado because that's where most of your tribe is. And I think that you should do it for 2 days because most people can come to a 2-day weekend retreat. And every place I called in Colorado was booked. Like no doors were opening when I was not, because I was not aligned with that. That was not my truth. That's not what I wanted to do. And then when I sat with it and checked in, Sedona came in instantly. And the very first call I made, it was available. So when you are trying to lead with what should I do versus how do I want to feel, it's never going to stick.
And I also think another important point that you made in there is you have to be aware. Like you can't just be in alignment and then just keep doing and doing and doing. You actually have to give yourself time to be aware to let those things come in. Just like when you went to the retreat or the spiritual meeting, like you could have easily said, no, I'm not going to that. I'm going to stay home and watch a movie. But you checked in with yourself again to become aware is this a good thing for me to do? And we don't do that. We don't ask ourselves that. And I really want to point out, especially for women, that, we as Western society, and for many, many years, this, thousands of years, that has kind of been pushed out of us. And so I love having people on that are in alignment with, this isn't new. This isn't new stuff. This is stuff that's been around for thousands and thousands of years in other cultures and other religions. And women have this innate ability to connect. Men do too, but typically women do, and women were the people that they were in the forefront of this, and then would help men to do it.
Yes, yeah, we have a natural, innate ability to do it because we are extremely connected, and more so than we know. It is actually extremely easy for us to connect to our intuition. Extremely easy. If you take 2 seconds to ask yourself, what do I really want in this moment? I guarantee you will get the answer. The important piece is actually acting on the intuition versus just hearing it and pushing it away and being like, oh no, I'm just going to do what somebody told me to do.
Right.
So staying connected to the intuition is so important.
Well, I love that you've shared all this with us today. And I really want to just take a minute to, you have a really amazing nonprofit that you're also involved in. And I want to spend a couple minutes having you tell the audience about that nonprofit, just because I know it's dear to your heart and it is in alignment with, not only your business, but yourself. So will you tell us a little bit about your nonprofit as well?
Yeah, I would love to. So that is also a story of alignment. This was, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or so. I was invited to go to a fundraiser down in Denver. And I totally did not want to go to the fundraiser. I didn't want to go by myself. I didn't want to go to Denver. I don't love going to those kinds of events just by myself. I'm not an extrovert. I am an introvert. But there was this deep knowing that I was supposed to go to that fundraiser for some reason. I didn't know why. I just kept hearing, you need to go, you need to go. And one of the very first people that I ran into when I walked through the door was this woman, Diane Chafee. And we ended up sitting together at dinner, and she told me her vision of having an equine therapy program for women with breast cancer. She was a breast cancer survivor. And she searched high and low when she was going through breast cancer for an equine therapy program all over the States, all over Canada, couldn't find one. And I said, well, that's funny because I happen to be an equine assisted psychotherapist. So before being a coach and sort of business spiritual coach, I've been a psychotherapist for the past 10 years. So I bring that to my work as well. So about 2 years later, after she finished, she actually retired from her work. And when she retired, she called me and said, are you ready to start this? And I said, heck yeah. And so 6 years ago, we started Hope Held by a Horse. And since then, hundreds of women who are anywhere in their journey with breast cancer have come out to our programs. We run equine assisted therapy retreats once a month for 6 women somewhere in their process. And most importantly, it's free for the women to come. We really wanted to offer a resource. They have to spend so much money on their cancer treatment, and it's such a stress to their life. And so we really wanted to offer a free resource. And so 6 women come out, and it is about getting into alignment and getting back into their body and getting out of the stress that probably had something to do with the cancer in the first place, and accessing their higher self with the horses, because the horses just bring that out in people.
It's such a phenomenal resource for people, and I will make sure to link to that in the show notes so that we can get a little bit of publicity for that as well. So Kerry, you've been a great resource. I love that you shared some of your gifts with us on this episode. It's been a very unique episode. So I'd love for people to know how to get to know you more. I know you've got an online program that you open up a couple times a year. You work with people one-on-one. So tell my listeners how they can find you and the best place to reach out to you to learn more.
Yeah, I would love to. First, my website is my name, so kerryborcherding.com, and so you can find the spelling in this episode. I'm also would love to offer you a free resource that has some of the practices that I shared here, but there are practices of both of 3, the mind, the body, and energy, that will help you get into alignment, and those are videos as well as meditations. And that link, I'm sure that she will put in the comments as well, but it's kerryborcherding.com/awaken event. And those will just land in your inbox and give you some alignment practices that you can use throughout your day.
Perfect. And I think I'll just shorten that link to we'll just, do a link from my site that's, elisaconnor.com/Kerry, and then people can find you. Great. And I'll link it over there. So if you're looking for that, just go to elisaconnor.com/Kerry with a K, Kerry, and we will make sure that you can get over and get to her resources. And I will also link to her website and her social media channels in the show notes.
That's great. I do a free training every Tuesday at 2 Mountain Standard Time on my Facebook business page.
Nice. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you spending some time with us this morning and sharing what you do and helping us get in alignment. I'm going to go play with the whole energy ball thing. I think that's going to be awesome. So I will report back. But I appreciate you being here and spending time with us. And we will see you all next week. Just a reminder, don't forget to sign up for my free training to create your irresistible download. Everybody wants a great free download. Why shouldn't you have one too? Grow and build your email list so you can get more clients by joining me on my free training at elisaconnor.com/create my freebie. I'll see you soon.